Hey friends, my name is Jackson. I'm not your average NB, and welcome back to my channel. And today we're doing another Reddit video, and I'm gonna be reading from r/AmItheDevil. I don't know. I want to ask, which do you guys like better? Do you guys prefer the ones where I'm reading from just one subreddit and then we go deep into it, or do you guys like the videos where I read from like a bunch of different subreddits and a bunch of different stories? Because I'm kind of enjoying both, and I think I'm gonna continue doing both. But you guys can let me know which one you prefer. And I'm gonna do this one Reddit video, and then I'm gonna say don't expect much from me until the 21st, until I'm doing like my I might make another video this week, but other than that, I am gonna be just focusing on my 10-year anniversary special because making 10 lists is exhausting. Anyway, so going into r/slash am I the devil, and this was hang on. Hmm. This one's originally from r/slash relationship advice, and the title of this is well, the title on the r/slash am I the devil post is "It's just a prank, bro." And then of course they always save their stories here. I think there was maybe one or two stories that they didn't save that I never found that I wasn't able to read, which was a little unfortunate. But most of the stories they save here. Is my wife overreacting at the little prank I put on our second baby's birth registration form? My wife, 31 female, and I, male 36, recently had our second child together. We've been married for 3 years, together for 7. She wanted the middle name to be Stefan after a family member I don't really like too much. And she knows this. I was placed in charge of filling out the birth registration form, so I decided as a little prank to fill in the middle name as Stroganoff. When we received the birth certificate, to say she went off the rails would be an understatement. I doubled down and said, "Hey, at least I didn't put beef as the first name," which I realize now only poured more gas on the fire. I argued that it's not that serious. Then name change form is like $40 and I would take care of it. She took the kids to her sister's and refuses to speak to me and is telling her sister that she's thinking of separating. I know what I did was dumb, but is she overreacting? I want to try and rectify this and do what's best for our relationship. First of all, oh my god, I can't stop yelling. First of all, you're an idiot, OP, and a jerk for that. You poor kid. Like, I feel bad for the child in this. I feel bad for your girlfriend too, but I feel bad for the child because the child is the one that stuck with this name. And yeah, you can. I think you're underestimating how hard, and it's more complicated than just paying $40 and being like, okay, I would like this to be his new name. There's like forms you have to fill out, there's steps you have to go through. You're gonna have to figure out the birth certificate change and stuff. You're gonna have to do it all. And it's more than $40 depending on where you live, because where I live, it was like over $100, I think. Like, I don't remember the exact amount, but I think it was somewhere between $150 to $200, somewhere around there. I think it was like 180, but I was able to pay for it myself, I think, at the time. I don't really remember a lot about that point in my life. Like, I don't remember if I think I covered some of it and then my mom covered the rest because, like, I was trying to figure out I was gonna do it, and my mom helped me out a little bit, but I covered some of it at the time. And that was back in like early 2022, like before I moved out. So I lived with my mom for like 2 years from March 2020 to around May 2022. And then I lived by myself for about 2 years. I, and now I've been living back with her since May, since like early to mid May. It's ridiculous. But yeah. It's just kind of ridiculous, and just because you don't like the name Stefan and you don't want it for your kid, doesn't mean you just give your kid this kind of terrible name. This is not a prank. A prank would have been like if you filled it out on like a fake birth form and then you showed her the form and then you were like, oh, never mind, I actually put down the real name that you wanted or whatever. Like, okay, and yeah, if you guys and r/slash says that naming a kid is a two yeses, one no scenario, and he's 100% correct about that, I think. or at least I feel like. And like in my opinion, that is the case. If one person doesn't want the name, then you veto the name. Like both parents should be able to agree together on the name. So yeah, if you don't want the kid's middle name to be Stefan, then that's fine. But you don't go and do this and you talk about it with your wife like an adult and explain why you don't want this to be the child's name. You don't screw up your child's life. All right, let's read the comments. The last straw doesn't seem like a big deal to him, but it is to her. My sister left her first husband because he used her car and returned it on empty. It was a pattern of disrespect over the years. Leaving her car on empty on yet one more Monday when she had to work and take the kids to daycare was just too much. He'll still whine and cry about how he was a good husband, never hit her or the kids or cheated, and she just stole his kids and left. LOL, I love how many men tell on themselves by conflating being a good husband with not beating, raping, and betraying their wife and children. Like, no, not doing those things does not make you a good person. It just makes you a person. Yeah, the absence of doing bad things doesn't make you a good person. It just makes you not a bad person. But you have to actually be consistent and do good things for your wife and like not, you know, do stuff like like yeah, it's a pattern of stuff over the years. And even the smallest things can have an effect on marriages, like even the smallest problems, especially actually they can have an effect on any relationship, not just marriages, especially when you've talked about it over and over and over and over again. Like and nothing changes. But anyway, I had an ex who would always say, "At least I'm not a serial killer. The bar is higher than that, but thanks." Not to be flip, but that absolutely sounds like something a serial killer would say. I always have to fight the urge to say, because serial killers get shit done. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Not a serial killer could still be a double murderer. Yeah, at what point do you go from just a person with a few murders to a serial killer? Like, is that number three, four, five, more than five? Like, how many murders do you have to do in order to be considered a serial killer and not just a person with a few murders under their belt? Uh, I got into an argument with some guy on a subreddit where he was saying the girlfriend in the post needed to apologize to the boyfriend because the boyfriend wasn't as bad as an incel. It's amazing how low the standards can go for men. There should be there should be recordings of all of these things, and every man who says that should have to watch it on loop until they figure it out. And every guy who says they are great because they never hit their wife or kids should get smacked every time. That's the lowest bar in the world and should be assumed as a minimum, not something worth a reward. Absolutely the asshole. This is a stupid move, especially on the birth certificate. He could have at least printed a fake one or something as a joke. He legally named his kid Stroganoff, and jokes he didn't make the first name Beef. She will never trust him again, and she will always associate that he cared more about pulling a joke than loving his child. Good luck on his marriage. He is the asshole. Absolutely the asshole. I can't imagine leaving my husband in charge of filling out the forms or giving birth, and he pulls that. That would have destroyed my trust to have his support in the times that really mattered. You chose a prank over your wife's and kids' feelings. Regardless if the fix is just $40. As of right now, your kid is legally named Stroganoff. You don't deserve her. Yeah, I don't think that in the future your kid is gonna think that this is just some funny story about how he was legally named Stroganoff for a few days or weeks or whatever because, eh, because the dad thought it was funny, like, until they could get the name legally changed. And I don't know how, like, what the thing is with the whole name change. I don't know if it's like this with, adult, with name changes for babies, but like, also, I'm pretty sure in some countries, isn't there like an age limit on getting your name changed? Like, don't you have to be a certain age where you can get your name before you can get your name changed in some places? But regardless, the kid is gonna be named Stroganoff now for a little while until you can get the name changed, and who knows how long that's gonna take. But also, in some cases, they can reject the name change. Like I know with my sister's attempted name change, they sent her some forms back saying they rejected the name change because there was some issue with it. So like, You don't know how long your kid could potentially be named Stroganoff for. And, like, what do you say when people ask about the name? What do you say? Like, it's not just some funny joke, and your friends are gonna think it's weird, and that's just, I don't know, that's really upsetting. And, like, what do you say when they ask about, do you just not tell them the middle name and pretend like the baby doesn't have one? Or do you, like, tell the truth? Because I feel like either of those is a bad idea. Hang on. All right. All right. Here's a different one. Broke up with girlfriend, dad dying, killed herself. Okay. I don't. All right. But then the story is under here, and the title is I broke up with my girlfriend over text when her dad was dying, and she just killed herself. Oh my god. Okay, so obviously, trigger warning for like suicide and stuff, and also dying dads, I guess. Anyway, my girlfriend's dad was diagnosed with that brain tumor that killed John McCain. For 8 months, he was in and out of the hospital as his health slowly faded. My girlfriend was under an enormous amount of stress, lost interest in sex, and became emotionally distant and volatile. We fought all the time and talked past one another. I realized I was no longer attracted to her and felt like I was a shitty person for feeling that way, and I would be an even shittier person if I broke up with her. I felt trapped and scared. She eventually went to stay with her mom and her dad as his health failed. I stayed behind and ended up cheating on her with a friend of mine who I had always thought was attractive. I felt even more like a piece of total shit. When her dad got into hospice care, she asked me to fly out to be by her side while he died. I told her I would, but right before I was about to buy a plane ticket, I felt so overwhelmed with guilt over what I did that I couldn't do it. I stayed up all night feeling sick, knowing I needed to call her, but instead, like a coward, I texted her that I didn't think we should see each other anymore. I ignored all of her phone calls and texts and blocked her everywhere. I blocked all her friends on social media as well. That was 3 months ago. She filled my voicemail inbox with long rambling messages and spammed me with hateful text. Wait, how, you didn't, you blocked her everywhere, but you didn't block her on your text? Not that I'm saying you should have. You're a piece of shit. But like, if you blocked her everywhere, wouldn't you have blocked her on your text? Wouldn't you have blocked her phone number too? I don't know why you didn't do that. But anyway, it got to be so much that it completely took over my life, and I had to file a restraining order against her so I could get my life back. Last week, I got word that she killed herself. There's a note for me, and I can't bring myself to read it. I'm in such shock that I don't think I'm capable of feeling anything. I think if I were to read her note, I would disassociate completely. I can't handle this. Yeah, neither could your freaking girlfriend. And someone says repost. No, I cross posted it. Is that okay? They mean that it's been posted here and Am I the Devil before a few times. It's best to check posts before posting as it won't always warn you. And then someone puts a link to the post. It was posted a few hours ago. Usually Reddit tells us when we try to repost. Then there's a deleted comment. Ah, sorry. Yeah, when people say repost, they mean the post was cross-posted in this Reddit already. Mods will remove it if they see it. Didn't mean to offend. It was an interesting one. You can check out the comments on the other cost post. That OP is the devil. This story feels like rage bait to me. I mean, maybe. Hopefully, actually. I don't. And okay, so I just went to the other one and it says, wow, this is just sad. It is, though. And in true coward fashion, OP deleted this post. And we're gonna take a look at the comments on the original post because even when unless the post gets deleted by the moderators or something, the comments are always there if OP deletes their own post. OMG, you're a literal sociopath. Why the fuck do you need to read the letter? Because you cheated on her during the worst time of her life, and instead of being an adult and owning that you broke up with her out of nowhere, ghosted her, and then filed a restraining order when she wanted to know why you did all of that? I honestly can't fathom how you don't realize that. You refused to give her closure and just went out of your way to hurt her more. You're a horrible person, and she deserves someone to know her last words and how she really felt. If you can't read the letter, give it back to her family or to her friends. Bleh. You're a real shithead, aren't you? Story time. When my father was dying of cancer, my boyfriend decided it would be a great time to cheat on me because I was away for 3 weeks and he was too emotional. Shit you not, he was literally sleeping with her in my bed on the day of my father's funeral. There is a special place in hell for people like that. Seriously, asshole, can you keep it in your pants for a minute? This guy has the audacity to talk about his guilt. He fucking should feel guilty. His partner's world was falling apart and he could not even deliver the absolute bare minimum of not fucking other people while she was having a rough time. Yep, they're going to burn in a very special level of hell, a level they reserve for child molesters and people who talk at the theater. People who talk at the theater. I love that. That is one of my absolute pet peeves. People talking in the theater, and also parents who bring their children or babies to the theater and let them, like, be annoying or cry or whatever. Shut the hell up. If you can't control your kid, and I'm not saying that to the kids, but seriously, if you're a parent out there and you bring your kids to the theater and you let them annoy people, what are you doing? What are you even doing? Be a parent. And if your kids are too young to understand that they need to follow the rules of the movie theater, they're too young to go to a movie. Either get a babysitter or stay home. I'm so tired of hearing it. Okay, let's see this. Because there's OOP's comments. Someone says, "Wow, I didn't even know where to start. Your level of cowardice is unfathomable. That poor girl." And the OP says, "I couldn't face her." Then someone else says, "Holy shit, man, I know you're not standing behind me in line when that karma train hits you. In this life or the I hope you're not standing behind me in line when that karma train hits you. In this life or the next, you're definitely going to have to deal with that one." Anyway, I don't want to dole out too much hate on you. There's nothing you can possibly do to fix this, so you're stuck living with it. I feel bad for you. Guilt is a horrible emotion, right on par with regret. And then OP says, "How am I going to deal with this? I completely cut ties with her. I'm not saying this to be a dick, I'm actually asking." And then someone else says, "Did you think you'd get sympathy or it's not your fault?" And then someone else says, "Oh, he totally did. He went here to be comforted and told he did nothing wrong. And if even one person out of 20 suggests he wasn't completely responsible, he's going to latch onto that comment and go, 'You see, I was totally in the right. I'm a good guy.'" And then OP says, "I don't think I'm a good guy." Yeah, no shit. Doesn't sound like he's trying to be better either. What a pathetic excuse for a human being. She stuck around his side at his lowest, and he can't even do the barest minimum to be around for her because dude cared more about his dick. Hopefully, it was worth killing his ex-girlfriend. I'm still hoping this is fake because yikes. I really hope this is fake. I'm not sure if it is because there are people this horrible out there, and I've dealt with them. But yeah. I really hope it's fake though. Actually, he never deleted his post, so let's see what his comments are like. Um, let's see what this is. So, the restraining order detail makes me think it's fake. Okay, hang on. Okay, I don't know what. Oh my gosh, okay. Someone says, "Okay, you are 100% going to be brigaded here. If I were you, I would delete this post and step away from the internet. You need to read the letter. It is important. You need to seek help outside of yourself. No one is irredeemable, but this is a hard one to come back from or justify." And then OP replies in all caps, "Why the fuck do I need to read the letter?" Um, okay, yeah. Just like, how am I going to have to deal with this? I completely cut ties with her. I'm not saying this to be a dick. I'm actually asking. You can't deal with it. The problem is, it's too late. Because, I mean, it was too late before she killed herself because you're just a terrible person, and that is so shitty to do. That's garbage. Like, you're a garbage human being. First, for breaking up with her over text. And I don't want to say that my first ex boyfriend was a garbage human being because I think he legitimately just didn't know that breaking up over someone with someone over text like wasn't a good thing to do, or he just didn't want to deal with breaking up with me like in person because he was worried about how I'd react or something, because we'd have a lot of problems in our relationship, and I want to admit that a lot of them were caused by me, which is why we can't be friends anymore because of me and because of the damage that I did. I don't know. I tried to fix it and he did accept my apology, but I don't even with that, we can't be friends anymore really. think I just did too much damage. And yeah, I was in a really bad place with my mental health. And I'm not saying that to justify anything. I wasn't a good partner to him. But yeah, I do know how it hurts to get broken up with over text. Again, I don't think he meant it in like a bad way or anything. And I don't believe that he's a bad person. He's absolutely a good person. But that is how my first relationship ended. He did break up with me over text, and it wasn't fun for sure. So yeah, that sucked. But as far as that goes, like, it's one thing to break up with someone, it's another thing to cheat while their dad is in hospice and then, like, not want to fly out to be with them. Instead of flying out to be with them, you break up with them over text. And then, yeah. And I don't want to say you essentially killed this girl because she is still responsible for her own choices, but it's really fucked up everything that you did, and you did play a part in her making this decision to kill herself. I don't think you quote unquote killed her because, like, I don't want to go ahead and say that, but I do want to say that's I don't know how to say it. But yeah, you are a shitty person, and hopefully you get better. I doubt you will. Um, and then OP says in the comments, how was I cool? She deserves better than me. I thought if I broke up with her, that would be the end of it. I didn't think she was going to fucking off herself. Jeez, dude. Jeez. And then he also says, I got an emergency protective order for harassment and stalking. I told her to stop contacting me because I couldn't help her and she wouldn't stop. She also texted my mom and my friends. She just wants to know why. She wants to know why. I know. Just, I can't even. This is so sad, dude. This is so sad. Ugh, okay. The restraining order detail makes me think this is fake. Unless they were living together, many states won't grant a restraining order without actual violence taking place. I don't know if they were or weren't. I got one against an ex for stalking, including constantly trying to contact me and my friends, but they were actually threatening me in the messages. If the ex was threatening OP, I feel like that would have been in the post. Okay, I don't know. I really hope this is fake, you guys. I really, really hope. Also, a deleted comment that's still partially showing up on his profile starts with, how was I cruel? Yeah, and then he puts the whole comment. And then someone replies with the entire comment, which I already read to you guys. How was I cruel? She deserves better than me. I thought if I broke up with her, that would be the end of it. I didn't think she was going to fucking off herself. Meanwhile, you said she had problems with suicidal ideation in the past. How was I cruel? Gee, asshole, let's see. Kicking a girlfriend further down when she was at the saddest point in her life. Finding girlfriend's hospice visit to be the perfect opportunity to finally stick your dick up in your scummy friend that you always wanted to screw. Then instead of letting you know that you dumped her because you were a no good piece of fucking vermin shit who can't keep his pants up, ghosted her and left it to her imagination running wild about all the ways it was her fault, how she wasn't good enough for love or for you, and how you and everyone else would be better off without her. If in anyone's world these are not excellent examples of cruelty, then they live in the land of psychopathy. She deserves better than me. Everyone that isn't a piece of vermin shit deserves better than you. Which means which means the bitch you are with now deserves her prize. But this in no way exonerates you from leaving a very depressed, grieving suicidal girl to convince herself it was because of her and her fault. Thought if I broke up with her, that would be the end of it. And yet months and months went by of her wanting and deserving answers, which means you knew bloody right well that was not the end of it. So you can back right the fuck up with your bullshitting. I didn't think she was going to fucking off herself. You knew it was a good possibility. You knew her history. You also knew her devastation when her father died. Instead of letting her know you were a cheating pig, you chose the weak little coward boy way out. That you knew goddamn well heaped even more suffering onto her than was already present because that would have been clear to you after repeated attempts to contact you. You knew you were doing all this to someone with depression and suicidal ideation. The only good news is, it's highly likely you are just some cruel rage baiter. Bad news is, if this is true, you are cursed. Yeesh. I can absolutely believe people like him exist. I've seen a lot lately. I do indeed believe people like this exist, but I have not decided if I think this is fake or not yet. I think we need to move on to a different story because this is like This is a lot to take, you guys. Alright, that was so intense and just super depressing. Alright, let's see. This next one is called Supportive Parenting. This next one's tagline is Supportive Parenting. And it's called Am I the asshole for calling my daughter a bum for trying to work in fast food? I don't know. Let's find out. But also, since it's in r slash Am I the Devil, yes. Hang on. I have to plug in my damn laptop. Okay, there. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's read this story then. Am I the asshole for calling my daughter a bum for trying to work in fast food? Wait, she's trying to get an entry level job and you're gonna have a problem with that? What? Why? This happens all the time. Like fast food and retail workers or minimum wage workers are seen as like less than, and it's always been so weird to me. Whatever. For reference, please lend me some grace as the title sounds worse than the actual situation. We will be the judges of that, won't we? For reference, blah blah blah. My daughter is 21 years old. She is not in school, but has her own apartment and works full time at a gas station that pays her minimum wage. But it gets her by. Before this, my daughter worked full time at the same gas station and also at a fast food place, Whataburger. They treated her terribly, but for the money she made between both jobs, she stayed until one day she was so tired from working both, as she just got off graveyard and went straight into her fast food job at the time. And they cursed at her and told her to leave for nearly falling asleep. I told my daughter to never go back, and she didn't. Recently, my daughter told me that she needed extra money as she was slacking on credit card bills, and she said she'd applied to some jobs. One at a car wash and another at Whataburger. She said she had an interview tomorrow. I became extremely upset and asked her why she'd go back to a business where she was terribly treated. She said she didn't want to and that it was a different location, but that she needed the money. I told her that her self worth was low and I called my daughter a bum. I asked her why she'd want to work somewhere that she's treated as a slave. Serving people food all day like a servant, especially at the age of 21. The best she can do is fast food. No college degree, no career. She will be 22 next year in October. She also rescheduled her interview at a good paying car wash job. I screamed at her, telling her she was acting like a bum. You screamed at her? Why would you scream at your daughter? And that she said she rescheduled due to babysitting, as she told them, there was no way she'd get the job. My daughter said I'm making her feel bad and ultimately said I'm being harsh, but I feel I'm being blunt as I strive for her to do better. Am I the asshole? You want her to do better, but yet you say you screamed at her, telling her she was acting like a bum? Why? Because I am just no words. There are none. I don't even know how to express what I'm feeling right now. Um, Maybe the comments will help. And I'm in the r slash am I the asshole here because okay, you're the asshole. Bum implies someone is willingly lazy and jobless. Your daughter is quite literally applying for a second job. She's the opposite of a bum. That said, your advice is useless. You are criticizing her for working in fast food because you see it as work that is socially inferior, but for some reason you're okay with her working at a car wash or gas station, which are jobs requiring similar levels of skill and pay. Yeah, that's the part I don't understand. I mean, I don't understand a lot of parts, but that's the part I really don't understand. And I'm 30 and I'm just about to get a job and I'm probably going to end up in fast food or something similar because I don't have experience. I have the experience. You guys want to know the experience I have? 6 months working in a fast food restaurant like 8 or 9 years ago. That is the experience. That is the extent of my experience. And because of that, I'm probably going to end up in some like minimum wage job because I am an entry level worker because because I'm an entry level worker and that's what entry level workers do. They take entry level jobs and if you need money, you take any job you can get basically, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. I applied for the movie theater job. I doubt I'm going to get it. We'll see. I mean, I'm going to keep applying there and eventually, hopefully, they'll hire me because that is the job that I would like. I mean, ideally, I would like to turn my writing into a career, but that's probably going to take a long time. I haven't even edited the book yet. Like, I'm going to have to edit the book at some time in the near future, hopefully. And over the Christmas holidays, I'm hoping that I can get my mom to go to a friend's house and get the book for me. And also, the whole and the issue is also on top of having half of my book at my mom's friend's place. I don't even have the full book over there. The other half of my book I gave to my uncle like years ago so he could read it, and then it never got returned. So I recently had to ask him to find it and send it back. I mean, I found actually a Facebook memory that popped up where I asked him to like find it and send it back years ago, and then he said he found it, but he never sent it back, and I never heard from him when I followed up. So he said he would try and look for it again, but yeah, I have parts of my book that I have to get from two different places, and both are equally difficult. Actually, I'd say that the issue with my mom is the more difficult one, which seems like it would be the easier one because it's right near home, and as opposed to my uncle who lives in the States and would have to send it by mail. But as far as that goes, my mom is like, it was hard enough to get my mom to do it when she didn't have her new job. And now she does have a new job, which is keeping her extremely busy. She was actually away for a, for like 3 or 4 days every week last month. So she would be gone from like Monday morning to like Thursday night. But back to my original point, like, I would like to make my writing a career, but until then, I'm gonna have to get some entry level job because I don't have experience, and that's what people with no experience have to do. So, if you have to work in fast food or somewhere similar for a while to like push yourself up to get better, to get experience, so you can eventually get a better job, that's what you have to do. And because she's 21 and this is, I'm assuming, her first job, aside from the job she had before. And yes, I get that. Obviously, you don't want to go back to a place where you were being treated like that. So, yeah, she does. She applied to a different location, and hopefully, this location will treat her better. And I'm assuming if it doesn't, she'll just find another place to get a job. Also, she could still get the gas station job. Don't forget that. Uh, Not only that, your advice is in quotes, is simply "you're a bum" and other such insults based on your distorted perception of fast food work. You don't offer any other alternatives. You don't offer any other help. You see your daughter struggling and you're doing nothing but insulting her. What is your goal here? To just make her life harder and push her away? If you want her to get better jobs, then help her make a different choice. If you can afford it, which I get the vibe, you can, since you see fast food as inferior work, then help her go to college if she is willing. If she won't go to college, see if she will go to a trade school or something or get certifications for something. Either way, she has to gain some sort of skill, or she will always be in positions like gas station, fast food, car wash, etc. But if she is struggling financially, it's unlikely she can make the switch alone. You're not obligated to do that, of course, but if you are actually wanting to help her, then actually help her instead of just slinging insults. And then someone else says, then actually help her instead of just slinging insults. This right here, and then OP wants us to give them the grace they aren't even giving their own child. Hard pass, screaming at someone and calling them a bum and in the same breath accusing her of having low self-worth. Seems like OP values her even less than she values herself. She didn't come cap in hand begging, and I'm sure she knew better than to do that. The girl's doing the honorable thing and trying to work her way out of a bad situation. Other people have done much worse, and then when she comes to a parent for support rather than a handout, she's berated and insulted. I thought you weren't supposed to kick someone when they're already down. Worried about her being treated terribly by business, so you decided to warm her up and get her ready for the abuse by treating her terribly at home. Dis- Disgraceful parenting. You're the asshole. Yeah, this post has me confused too. Like, if you're such a if you're such a snob that you think fast food workers are inferior, uh, if you are such a snob that you think fast food workers are inferior, then just pay for her to do a pointless philosophy degree like all my rich friends' parents did for them. It's her money to waste. Sounds like she wouldn't know a good kid if they came up and slapped her in the face. Yeah, exactly. Boop, boop, boop. You're the asshole times infinity. For reference, please lend me some grace as the title sounds worse than the actual situation. No, you deserve zero grace. Your daughter is not a bum, but a hardworking person. You, on the other hand, are a judgmental asshole. I hope you apologize and tell your daughter you are proud of her. You are proud of her for working so hard. Tell her that if she wishes to go and post-secondary education, you would support her trying to find a new career. Okay. That is ridiculous. Literally, why? Like, are you you're mad at your daughter for working two jobs, supporting herself because you clearly won't? Like, I don't know if you're rich or poor or where you are, but regardless of your status, you should never be upset with your child for literally doing what they can to support themselves and pay for their own shit and take care of themselves in life. Like, even if she's working a crappy minimum wage job, she's still supporting herself, which is clearly more support than you're willing to give her. What the hell? Alright. The actual situation was in fact just as bad as the title. Worse, I think. Apparently daughter is a single probably mom as she had to reschedule an interview due to babysitting. So she's busting her ass to take care of her young family and her own parent is tearing her down and calling her a bum for it. Okay. Awful. Babysitting usually implies that they aren't your own children, I think. She's rescheduled due to babysitting to me implies rescheduled due to not having a babysitter, but sure, maybe. Oh, I see how you were reading it. Yeah, that's ambiguous. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure if he does have a kid or not. If she does have a kid, that makes it worse because I mean the dad's a piece of crap no matter what, but if she does have a kid, that makes it worse because she's working hard to support her and her kid. Like, what? And I would totally understand if someone had to reschedule their interview because they had a kid and they needed to take care of it because something came up and they didn't have a babysitter. I would be very understanding, but I'm maybe I'm just a maybe I'm just, I don't know, not a terrible person because people are assholes. Okay, let's see. All right. Uh, am I the asshole for not caring about my son's allergy? And that's the r slash am I the devil title. And the actual title is Am I the asshole for not spending my son's birthday with him? And this one, of course, was marked as the asshole. And I, a 51 female, have one son. I'll call him Dave for now. Dave is from my previous marriage. My ex-husband and I broke up because we were young and inexperienced. Either way, after a long period of not talking at all, we slowly repaired our relationship and remained friendly for Dave's sake. Both me and my ex husband got remarried, and as odd as it sounds, we all get along. Me, my ex husband, his wife, and my husband. They also have two more kids now, and I regularly give the older one guitar lessons. Dave moved away after deciding to go to uni when he was 19, and after graduating, he decided to continue living further away from us. We still keep in contact, but I'd say I see him a lot less often than I see my ex husband's children. Dave's birthday is on the 26th of December, and up until he was 22 years old, we usually got together and celebrated at my house. When he turned 22, he had a bad allergic reaction to something, and the evening was pretty much over. After that, he had no interest to celebrate with us ever again. And for this year, he announced as well that he's not going to celebrate his birthday, even though it is more significant since he's turning 25. I still am getting him a present and all, but I respect that he wishes to spend his day with alone or with friends. He then asked me what I would have planned for that day since it's still a holiday, and I explained that his dad and his new wife would be coming over with the kids, and we would have a little get together. I joked that we would be drinking champagne in his name and maybe even bake a cake. He didn't take that well. He didn't yell or get loud on the phone, but I could hear him mumble something along the lines of course you are, and then audibly just said, Okay, have fun, Mom. That was 2 weeks ago. I haven't heard from him since, and going this long without contact from him is weird, even if it's just a text or a phone call. Every time I tried to call him, it goes to voice message, and it auto replies with, I'm busy. His dad hasn't heard anything either, but their relationship has been strained for a while. He hasn't texted his siblings either. I don't see how I'm in the wrong here since he openly stated he didn't want to celebrate his birthday, but I would like to hear some opinions. Edit, my son's allergic reaction came from mine and my ex-husband's dogs, but he knew about them and never once told us to get rid of them. Edit 2, I think I've explained nothing, everything in the comments, so I have nothing more to say. If someone has genuine advice to offer, thank you. Wow, that edit too makes you look even worse, OP. Alright. But anyway, there's obviously a lot missing from your story. Like, why wouldn't you ask your own child what he wants to do to celebrate his big day and whether he wants something from you to help him with that? Soft, you're the asshole for that. His mumbled comment makes me think he feels very much neglected and the other kids are the favorites. I think you're right. His birthdays are always the Christmas celebration or leftovers from Christmas, so there is nothing special just for him, like no effort. Some kids who require effort to feel special never get it from their parents and find it elsewhere. I can confirm, I am like super into my birthday. Like you guys know, I recently made a video about my 30th birthday. Although I don't know if you would call it recent since it was in July and it's now November. So, but anyway, I did make a video for my 30th birthday and I'm like super into my birthdays. Like I always do these big parties. And this year I actually had some money of my own saved. So I had like my mom spent about $200 on me. Actually, she usually spends $200 on me, but because she did some special stuff, she probably spent way more than she anticipated. But there was some set stuff that I wanted to do that she spent about $200 on. And then I spent about maybe three to $400 on my own stuff, on some of my own stuff that I wanted for my birthday that would extend past the budget. And she also did 30 days of presents for me like from the time for like 30 days there was one new thing every day and she left for a trip in I think early July, so she just did it like beyond from about early June to like early July before she left on a trip, and she did that and then yeah, and that was how we did it. And then there was some other stuff that I already knew that I wanted to have set because I do it every year. Like we go to this special place so I can get my cake that I like, and we go out to a restaurant for lunch or dinner or whatever, and we go to get Krispy Kreme donuts, and there's other stuff. And I'm not going to get into all of it right now, but we do have a bunch of birthday traditions that we do for my birthday that I really enjoy doing. Um, I think I need a short break because I'm not feeling so good. So I'm gonna just take a quick break and then I'll be right back. All right, I'm gonna read a couple more stories, and this next one is like really intense. And the r/am I the devil title is my pregnant wife is scarred and therefore less valuable because she defended me. She defended me from a fatal attack. Please validate my need to cheat on her. The original post is from r/relationship advice, but I think it got deleted. Yeah, it got deleted. But luckily it got saved to r/am I the devil. Struggling to stay faithful and remain attracted to my wife. I'm 34 male and she's 28 female. After we experienced a violent attack together, and not sure what to do. I can't talk to anyone about this for obvious reasons. I even tried speaking to a therapist and they made me feel so low, so I haven't gone back since. They made me feel so loved that I haven't gone back since. My wife and I have been together for 6 years and married for three. Wait, how old? 28? Okay. So she was 20 and he was 26. And I don't want to say anything bad about the age gap because I don't know. They might truly be in love. I don't know. Like, it's not even that big of an age gap if you really think about it, but I don't know. She was 20, he was 26. It's kind of like, anyway, whatever. My wife and I have been together for 6 years and married for three. We currently have a bundle of joy on the way, and she's about 5 months along. My wife was always on the fence about kids, but I was adamant about wanting them, and now that it's becoming so real, I'm not sure anymore. Really? What the fuck? Okay. Just that sentence alone pisses me off. You pressured your wife into having kids, and now you're not sure anymore, even though she didn't even really want them. Like, kids are one of those situations where if it's not an enthusiastic yes, it should be a no. Like, and if you're on the fence, then don't have a kid. Don't have a kid until you're sure. Until you're sure you want a kid. Or if you're not sure if you want a kid, get a pet. and that can be like a practice run. And I'm not saying make like get rid of the pet once you have a kid. Absolutely do not do that. But if you can handle like a cat or a dog, there's more of a better. I'm just saying, like I'm just saying, a pet is a good warm up to tell if you can handle a kid or not. Mm. Sorry, I'm so tired of this, of having this nasal condition. Hopefully, I'll get a surgery. My appointment's in a couple weeks at the end of November, so I'm gonna find out then, like, if I have a deviated septum, and if I do, we're gonna figure out what's possible. My hope is that I do have one and I can get the surgery because people say it's not like 100% that you're gonna be feeling 100% back to normal, but most people who had good results said they saw like a 70 to 80% chance improvement, which even that would be a massive improvement over what I've got going on now. And now that it's the winter, I'm more stuffed up. Like in the summer, I'm more drippy, and then in the winter, I'm more like stuffed up, and I've started sneezing at weird times, and it's just how it goes in the winter. I mean, it's been like that for the past like 6 or 7 years, or however long I've had this condition for. Actually, I think when I was doing videos in the past that I didn't have this condition, so I don't remember exactly when I started having these nasal issues, but it's been going on for a while and it's so frustrating, and I'm hoping I can get a surgery right now to fix it. So, I don't know. I'm gonna give you guys updates and stuff. I'll give you guys another update after my appointment, which is, I think, the 29th or 30th or something. It's the Saturday, either the 29th or I don't know. But I'm gonna let you guys know. Is like a pet is like it's like the diet version of having a kid, but it's still a good lead in to having a kid. And then once you get a cat or a dog, and I'm not saying the reason to get a cat or a dog is because you want to make sure you can handle it before you get a kid. And like, I'm just saying, like, okay, I don't know exactly how to say it, but anyway, my wife was always on the fence about kids, but I was adamant about wanting them, and now that it's becoming so real, I'm not sure anymore. I feel like I've just been on autopilot, and after spending this whole week buying baby stuff, I need to figure it out. Last week, my wife, Last year, my wife and I were at the park relaxing like we do almost every weekend, and someone yelled at us for speaking in my native language, Korean. My wife is trying to learn too because she's not Korean or Asian at all, but wants to only speak Korean at home to make sure her family is fully bilingual and that they don't lose their culture. I like that. I appreciate that. She seems like an amazing woman, and from the title, you seem like a total dick. Anyway, um, we were practicing out loud and sharing a snack, and this guy just walks up to us out of nowhere with wild racist BS. Yeah, some people are just fucking insane. He kicked our food, and there was some arguing, and while I was calling the police with my back turned, he tried to hit me with a pretty large rock. My wife jumped in between and ended up taking the full force of the hit, which literally busted her forehead open and knocked her out cold for almost a minute. Oh my god. I rushed my wife to the hospital, and the guy ran off and was eventually caught by the police a few weeks later. Thank God for that, at least. Yeah, yeah, getting hit in the back of the head is like a really serious thing. Getting hit in your head can cause like a really serious brain damage and problems. So I'm really glad that she did that. I mean, I'm not glad that she got hit with a rock, but I think she's an amazing woman to have done that for you. Like, that's an incredible thing to do for someone. My wife needed 14 stitches right across her face and had two black eyes with blood in them. Her face was swollen beyond recognition for a few days, too, and when she fell, she messed up an old knee injury, so when she got out of the hospital the next day, half her face was covered in bandages and she was limping. I still have a scar from when I broke my arm. I mean, it's nowhere near what she went through, but I'm just saying, with scars, I understand. Like, there's gonna be scarring and stuff in those kinds of situations, especially when you get hit in the head with a giant rock. I mean, my scar is different because it's from surgery, but I mean, I'm good with it. And you can hardly see it anyway. You'd have to look closely at it and really look at it. And now that it's winter, I'm all covered up anyway, so it doesn't even matter. So when she got out of the hospital the next day, her face Half her face was covered in bandages and she was limping, but she was still cracking jokes in the ER. Man, I wish I'd been able to do that when I busted up my arm really bad, because all I was doing was screaming and crying. After the bandages and stitches came out, she was told she would need to wait at least a year before having her scar surgically fixed, or whatever treatments. But now that the year is almost past, I've started hinting at her scheduling appointments and such. This entire time I've been struggling with remaining attracted to her despite it, but I didn't tell her since I didn't want to be cruel. She's now saying she doesn't think she wants to get anything done because she wants to save the money for the baby. I've offered to pay half of it, but she still hasn't really looked into having anything done. I've also pushed back on meeting my parents again because of this. They live outside of our country, hence why they haven't met yet. I'm bringing her around my friends since it happened. Really? You don't want her to meet your friends and family because of an injury? Like, what? What would happen if she got into, like, a car accident or something and ended up in a wheelchair? It kind of makes me feel like you would, not let your parents meet her because she's in a wheelchair. This is kind of that exact scenario. This is kind of a similar scenario, except that she was defending you and it wasn't just some kind of accident. She was literally defending you. This girl literally took a bullet for you, and you are going to not be attracted to her because of it. I don't know. Another part of me is just sort of mad she even did it. What the fuck? Are you serious, dude? It just I feel like half of a man now, and I've had to delete myself off of dating apps for making a mistake, and I've been channeling it all at the gym, but every time I look at her, I'm reminded of all those feelings. Okay, wait, you're mad that she did it? So you would rather have been hit in the head with a giant rock and just, I don't know, either be dead or have really serious brain damage and problems for the rest of your life? Because that's probably what would have happened if the rock had hit you in the back of the head. You idiot. Like, what? Really? You mad that okay, whatever. Wow. She hasn't changed a bit besides the scar. She's obviously handled it way better than I did, and somehow it's making me love her less. This plus the pregnancy. The pregnancy that you wanted, you're unattracted to her because of the pregnancy. Or am I reading that wrong? Are you just not interested in having this baby? Because you said you're not sure now that her having the baby is actually getting closer. You said you're not sure. So is it about you not being attracted to her because she's pregnant, or you just don't want a baby that you thought you wanted and that you pressured her into having? Like, what? I don't even know what to do. I thought about asking for a hall pass, but I know without a doubt she will leave me. I thought about taking care of my needs on the side so I can be the man she needs me to be, but I know she will eventually find out and she will hate me and make my life hell, or leave me a single father and I will never hear from her again. I just wish it had never happened, but I really need some other perspective or opinion on this. I wish it had never happened too, but for a different reason than you. Because your poor wife, she loves you so much. For one thing, she wasn't sure about having a baby, but she agreed to have a baby because she loves you that much. But also, she loves you so much that she would literally take a bullet for you. She has proven that to you. There aren't many stories about people who would literally take a bullet for someone else, but when it happens, it's an amazing thing. Your wife showed you the one true act of love. I mean, there are other acts of love that you can do, but this is literally like probably the biggest act of love you can do for someone. Other besides, guess the other act of love would be if you were the one who got hit with the rock and then she stayed with you and took care of you in whatever state you were in. Because that's the through sickness and through health that you say when you're doing your vows. But that should apply to you too. So you should stick with your wife through this. And you said she hasn't changed a bit. So you said she hasn't changed a bit besides the scars and stuff. So what? You only like her for her appearance? Are you that shallow? Either way, you're an asshole. But I can't tell if you just only liked her for her appearance because you're that shallow and you don't really care about her personality. Because this woman has an amazing personality, probably the best personality I've read about in any romance cut in any story like this. Because she showed you the one truest act of love that another person can do. She kept you from harm's way, and in doing so, brought harm on herself. That is such a true act of love, and you're just like, yeah, well, I'm not attracted to her anymore. She's not hot, so I'm gonna cheat on her. I need you to validate me, please, Reddit. What the fuck? What is your problem? You have issues, and I'm not even gonna go into the pressuring her to have a baby part, but that's also pretty awful. And being having a kid or not having a kid is absolutely one of those things that should be a deal breaker for any relationship. Like, if you're on the fence about having a kid and your partner is pressuring you to have a kid, you shouldn't be together. And if you're the partner who's pressuring your other partner to have a kid when they don't want a kid, you shouldn't be together. If you want a partner and if you want a kid and your partner doesn't, you shouldn't be together. If your partner wants a kid and you don't, you shouldn't be together. Like, either one of you is going to have to cave or the relationship is going to break up. And in this case, it was the girlfriend who caved. And after reading this story, I realized why. Because she loves this guy so deeply and so much that she was willing to be like, fine, I'll have a kid for you, even though I wasn't sure about it. I'll have a kid for you because that's how much I love you. I love you so much. I'd take a fucking blow with a rock for you. It reminds me of how people say we don't deserve dogs because of the love a dog has for their human can never match up to the love a human has for their dogs. And also because we're flawed beings and dogs really aren't flawed at all. Like, they're just perfect and magical and special and great all the time. I mean, they can do bad behaviors, but it's not for the same reason that humans do bad behaviors. We do bad behaviors because we, in some ways, we're assholes, and we do shitty things because we're flawed. But dogs, when they bite, they usually bite to defend themselves or someone else. Same with the other things that could be considered bad behavior. But no, they do it for a reason, for like a good reason for protection or whatever. When we do it, like, I'm just saying, the love that this woman has for this man reminds me of the love that a dog has for their human. The unconditional, incredible, inescapable love of a dog. And yes, I'm thinking about Dasher as I'm saying this because he was a freaking awesome dog. And I can't believe been gone for almost 5 years. It still sucks. Like, I things have definitely gotten better. Like, I'm mostly past it, but it still does suck, knowing he's not around and that he's never going to be around. But for real, like, she loves him like a dog loves their human, and he just doesn't care. He doesn't care. I hope that he's just, I don't know, like, what? I can't tell if he's just shallow and the only thing he cares about is her appearance, or if he is just an asshole who wants an excuse to cheat and he doesn't really care. Like, I don't know what if he's like not monogamous, he's never been monogamous and he's trying to use this incident as as an excuse to cheat. Either way, what is I hope they break up. I hope they break up and she leaves you with the baby you're now not sure if you want because you freaking pressure her into having kids, and now you're like, yeah, but I'm not sure I want the baby anymore. After it's too late and she's 5 months pregnant and it's coming along, and now I've decided that I'm not sure about having a kid. Ugh, ridiculous. Imagine being that badly repulsed by your partner because they got a scar defending you. I know, right? But 5 months ago, which was 7 months after the attack, she was attractive enough to make a baby with. Let's be real, he pressured his wife to have a baby. Now the baby is coming, he has jitters and was already second thinking the baby, so now the scar is a convenient excuse to check out of his family and start cheating. My wife was always on the fence about kids and I was adamant about wanting them, and now that it's becoming so real, I'm not sure anymore. I've had to delete myself off dating apps before making a mistake. I thought about asking for a hall pass. I thought about taking care of my needs on the side. Yeah, all of this is just leading me. He just wants to cheat. And I think he might just be using this baby or this accident as some kind of excuse. It was the having to delete himself off of dating apps. Like, so are you not married? The whole post was absolutely sickening to read. I hope she dumps him. There is a special place in hell for men who not pressure their fence sitting or would-be child-free wives, um, who pressure their fence-sitting or would-be child-free wives into having a baby, and then have second thoughts and wanna back out and or cheat. I actually don't love it when men do the pressuring at all because they don't have to do any of the work of growing the kid and are statistically much less likely to do the majority of childcare and extra domestic labor of having a kid, but pressuring her and then changing his mind, fucking gross. About 1 out of 10 meet about 1 out of 10 cheat about 1 out of 10 men cheat when their partners are pregnant, so I guess this is just a glimpse into those mental hoops and justifications, and somehow not realizing it's about the pregnancy. It's not about the pregnancy, though, it's that they never really liked their partner all that much in the first place. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, and he's just coming up with any excuse to get out of it. What even? I don't like, there's no way to go into this kind of thing. Let's go to the relationship advice post. I want to read some of the comments here. LOL, what an asshole you are. Your wife bravely took an incredibly painful hit for you, which has disfigured her now, and your solution is to offer to pay for half of the treatment or to sleep with someone else. Yeah, ask her for a hall pass, let her leave you. She deserves someone who loves her more. Yeah, agreed, 100%. And you don't deserve anything good in life. You deserve to be left behind with the kid you're now not sure if you want, and your wife deserves to have an amazing life with someone who actually will love her and be amazing and be nice to her and be a good partner. Because let's be real, OP, you're just not that good a partner. You've never been that good a partner. Like, I'm curious about like all the past to this post because like, I wanna know, like, if he was always like this. I think he was always like this, but either he just hit it well, or he pretended he wasn't like this, and then went and came up with other stuff, and then as soon as the accident happened, he was like, "There's my excuse to cheat." Ugh, paying for half. Half! After she saved him! He could at least offer to foot the whole bill. Also, not introducing her to his perfect family because of her scar? Vile. That part is weird. Since they're married, wouldn't both be paying her medical bills anyway? This is only one small reason he is a huge asshole. What's that quote from Crazy Rich Asians? It's not my job to make you feel like a man. I can't make you something you're not. Holy crap, I love that movie. Thank you for that. It's disgusting behavior what you are proposing. You need to talk to someone professional because resentment is building and your relationship will break if you go on. Jesus fucking Christ. My god, that was such a good line. Great reference here. Exactly. Holy crap. I love that. I'm super happy. But holy crap. I love that line. I love that line. But I like that line. And yeah, the whole, "Oh, I don't feel like a man now." Like, okay, what is she supposed to do about that? Those are your feelings, dude. Sounds like you need to deal with that on your own and you need to talk to a therapist or something. Like, there's no fucking way she can just make you feel like, how is she supposed to make you feel like a man? How? Like, in what way? And how is that her fault either? This attack happened and she had two options: take the hit for you or let you potentially get serious brain damage and or die. Like, what would have happened if you got your head smashed in with a rock and then you fucking died? And then that's it. And then that's it. Like, what? I don't understand where these people come from. Oh my god, I can't. Okay, we gotta move on to something else. This is absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand why people are like this. Like, I don't just Alright, I think I'm gonna just move on to something else. Um, boop, boop, boop. Hang on. Alright, let's go into Alright, we're on /Am I the Devil, and I'm looking at different posts. Boop, 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 boop. Oh my god, this one is crazy. Okay. And the title on Am I the Devil is What the Fuck? Yeah, okay. You guys don't understand why that is in a second. 6 years ago, I switched my wife's cat with a more well-behaved look-alike. 6 years ago, I swapped my then girlfriend, now wife's cat with a more well-behaved look-alike. She had an all-black cat that was extremely aggressive. It scratched everyone, hissed at everyone, and didn't use its litter box half the time. My wife insisted that she could get it to behave better. One week, she went out of town to visit her family, and I was supposed to go to her apartment and feed it. The first night I went over, it scratched the shit out of my arm. I joked to the cat that it's not special, and I'll replace it if it scratches me again. The joke stuck with me until I had thought about it enough that it wasn't a joke. The next morning I went to the next morning I went to the local animal shelter, found an identical cat who was already litter box trained and acclimated to people, but was a little skittish. Its old owner died of a heart attack, and the animal shelter people said they think that's why it was skittish. But overall, it was a lot friendlier and better behaved, and the skittishness would help it resemble the original cat. So I adopted it, took it to my wife's apartment, settled it in, then drove her original cat to an animal shelter a town over. I was paranoid my wife would find out if I took it to a local one. It's been 6 years since then. We got married 4 years ago. We still have the swapped cat. It answers to the original cat's name. My wife knows nothing. She loves this cat and brags about how much better behaved it is. Every time I see it, I feel like a total piece of I feel like a total piece of shit. Edit for the people saying the other cat was likely euthanized by the shelter. I just double checked, and the shelter I dropped it off at was and still is a no kill shelter. What the fuck? Yeah, because that makes it better. Oh, the cat wasn't euthanized. Yeah. Wow, that makes it okay what you did. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're free of all guilt because it didn't get euthanized. You're not a piece of shit at all, except that you totally are, and what you did was so mean. Oh my gosh. Dude, come on. Okay. I knew someone whose kitten swallowed some thread and sadly passed away during a surgery. To prevent telling her kid, she replaced the kitten with a look-alike. But though the original kitten was very sweet and cuddly, the look-alike wasn't. So the poor child was convinced that the kitten went crazy because of the surgery. This is such an awful thing to do to a child. My kid is 2 and has already processed the deaths of 2 dogs close to her. First, our 15-year-old dog who was euthanized because of brain cancer a few months ago. I miss him every day. Second, her grandparents' dog passed last week. She used everything she learned from the death of our dog and processed it all amazingly well. She asked her grandmother for confirmation that the dog died and then said they should look at pictures of him together. She later asked if her grandmother was sad, and she said she was a little sad, and my kid asked if she wanted a hug to help her feel better. She mentioned that she also missed our dog and wanted to see pictures and talk about him too. Seeing how she applied the tools we gave her to another person who was struggling with the loss of their pet before she's even 2.5 was amazing and heartbreaking to witness. Children learn how to manage emotions and process difficult events by watching others. Never underestimate the power of a child to learn these concepts. Granted, she's still confused about what death actually is, because a few weeks ago she said our dog would try to come back. Though when we told her that wasn't true, she accepted it and said only those who die for pretend can come back, but not when they die for real. She also announced that my sister's dog is going to die soon, because her only concept of death is 2 dogs dying in a relatively short time frame. She is still 2 after all. This toddler is more well adjusted than most of the adults I know. Honestly, fair, she's pretty amazing. Alright. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. You guys are awesome parents. Oh man. Aw, thanks, but I really feel like it's not that hard once you accept 2 basic principles. 1, children are people equally deserving of the same respect as anyone else. 2, my child's emotions don't scare me. I'm strong enough to be in charge and move forward confidently and be an emotional anchor when she needs it. After all, it's all just details. Yeah, for real. Um, yeah, it's never sat right with me, that whole thing that parents do, where the kid's fish dies and they just replace it with another fish and they never tell the kid, and it's like, okay, what the fuck? No, it's never sat right with me. Okay, I don't care if it's a child, I don't care how young the kid is. You they can be taught the concept of death, they can understand, and like it's just mean. It's just like undeservedly mean to a child. To Why would you do that? Like, what are they gonna think? How are they gonna feel when they're like, I don't know, 15 or 16 and they find out what you did, that you kept replacing their fish this whole time for the last 16 years? Fish don't actually live 16 years, spoiler alert. Like, what the hell? Anyway, I don't whatever. Seriously, that is mean though. You're a jerk. What episode of Seinfeld is this? and then there's a deleted comment, and then someone responds, r slash Reddit writes Seinfeld? What? I swear I saw a post. I swear I saw a post a couple years ago on r slash relationship advice relationship advice about a woman who swore her husband swapped her cat while she was away. It's so odd to read this one, LMAO. If someone finds the post, please link me to it. Unfortunately, it looks like no one found the post. I'm looking for the post. Hang on. There we go. There is. Oh, I found it. I found it. I found it. Wait. Oh, I don't like you. You're annoying. Ugh. Dang it. It's disguised as a Reddit link, but it actually sends me the YouTube video of I'm Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. So fuck you. Take my upvote, you piece of shit. Oh, fuck off, man. LMAO. I hate you. Ugh, okay. I don't. This. Just. You're an ass. Alright. Blah, blah, blah. Just. Okay. Here's another one about a cat. Am I the asshole if I don't want my girlfriend to bring her cat when she moves in? It's safe to say that I'm a dog person. I've always loved dogs and always had dogs, and the dog that I have now is my best bud. I love how social they are and how much they show love back to their humans, and that they are smart and trainable. I definitely do not like cats. Lots of people love them, and that's fine. But I personally do not even slightly see the appeal of taking care of an animal that doesn't give two shits if you live or die. Excuse me, oh my god, I hate when people say that. Cats do care. Do you know why cats purr? Because they use it. It's it's for when people are sad, so it's like a comforting feature for the cat. Like it's like a it's to comfort the cat. It's to comfort your human. Hang on. Let me see if I can find the why do cats purr? A cat can purr in response to happiness, as a coping mechanism for stress, to solicit food or attention, and to communicate to other cats. Hang on. What does it mean when cats purr on you? Purring is typically a sign of contentment and affection. Um, okay. Cats freaking like. Okay, cats appreciate you. Okay, hang on. Let me try something else. How do cats show love? How do cats show love? Purring means cuddling. It's scientific. Purring means cuddling. Showing their belly to be caressed. Massaging their human friends. So, like, when they make biscuits on you and put their little paws on you and, like, yeah, like that. Keeping their tail high or twisting it around our legs. So when your cat is walking by and, like, their tail is their tail is brushing against your legs, that means they love you. Rubbing their forehead and cheeks on us, sleeping with us, on us, and on our clothes. Aw. Oh my god, I love cats so much. I love you, cats. Ugh. I can't believe there are people out there who still think cats don't actually love you. They can't actually love you. Whatever. And that takes an insane amount of training and effort to learn even basic commands, which they will only ever do if they feel like it. I can't count how many times I've been scratched or bitten by a cat for no other reason than I dared to go near it. So yeah, not a fan. My girlfriend and I have been dating for coming up on 1 year, and she is a one in a million girl. When we're apart, I often find myself just wanting to spend time together. She is wickedly funny and always making me laugh out loud and an amazing artist, and she has a cat. It's not a particularly bad cat or anything as far as cats go. Very average, but I am so the opposite of a cat person that even average is bad. Have you ever hated someone so much that every little thing annoys you? That's what cats are like to me, and this cat is just everywhere when I'm hanging out at my girlfriend's apartment. Jumping up and down from shelves, stepping on my crotch, kneading my leg with its paws. Yeah, because it loves you. That's how cats show love. Sheesh. And most importantly, claws, yowling outside the bedroom door whenever I spend the night. My girlfriend, of course, loves him and doesn't see any flaws. All of this wouldn't be a problem, but as I said, we are approaching 1 year, and as I have been thinking about a future together, I can see myself marrying this girl, and I want her to move in with me, but I do not want to have a cat. I don't even know if my dog will get along with it, and I know I won't get along with it. Okay, well, I tried to talk to my girlfriend about the issue and she just turned stone fucking cold. Hey, maybe the cat can live with your parents when we move in together. They're in the same city as us. No, we're a package deal. I tried very calmly and rationally explaining to her the issue, and she outright said that I need to figure out what's more important to me because either they both move in with me or we break up and stop wasting each other's time. Just full ultimatum and holding the relationship hostage. What? That is not what she's doing at all. Like, she's offering you a simple choice. Would you be willing to get rid of your dog? Your girlfriend should ask you to get rid of your dog. And then when you say, absolutely not, I'm not going to get rid of my dog, she can be like, well, I want you to get rid of your dog and you need to do it if we're going to move in together. Next time you ask your girlfriend to get rid of your cat, you should ask her to get rid of your dog. I don't care. I'm not giving up my pets for anyone. I don't care if my tarantula just sits in its box all day doing nothing and doesn't let me touch it. I'm not giving them away because I freaking love them. They're my animals that I love. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not giving them up for anyone. So glad I'm not in a relationship. I feel like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place here. If she's playing hardball, would it be an asshole move for me to play hardball right back and say that she can't move in until she rehomes the cat? Well, then that's going to result in you guys breaking up, isn't it? Which I think is exactly what she would do. What she should do. I don't understand why she hasn't done it yet. Like, the first time you asked me to move my cat out of the house, I mean, you're a dick. But then I make like, you're a dick. Yeah, it's a shit move, but I'm gonna make my position very clear that I'm not rehoming my cat, and if if me and my cat don't both move in, then we break up. And then the second time you ask me to rehome my cat, or you bring it up, we're done. That's it. We're breaking up. I don't care. This doesn't move any further. My cat is my family. My snake is my family. My tarantulas are my family. I don't care what you think. Yes, they're pets, but they're I don't doesn't matter what the pet is. You need to accept that this is an animal that your girlfriend cares about. That's why I've never understood people saying bad things about another person's pets. Like, I'll see people saying such mean things about people's pet snakes, like, ew, gross, or about their pet rats. Like, people get a lot of that on their videos about their pet rats. Pet rat creators will literally make videos responding to mean comments that they get on TikTok because there's a fucking lot of them. Or like YouTube or Instagram or wherever they post their stuff, like because they get so many hate comments about their rats. But seriously, like they will make videos responding to these comments and they get so many mean comments and it's like it doesn't matter. It's not really about the fact if you like this animal or you don't like this animal. It's understandable not everyone likes rats, but to be such a dick about a creature that someone else clearly cares about, to be that way, to like act that way. Like, I'm not a fan of hairless cats, but I don't go on hairless cat videos and comment, ew, your pet is so gross. I don't like it. Why does it look ugly? And stuff like that. Because I'm not gonna do that. Because I respect that regardless of my feelings, this is an animal that you care about. It's also an animal that I don't have to interact with. And I'm not against hairless cats in the way that if I ended up interacting with them, I wouldn't like it. Like, I wouldn't want to interact with them. I'll interact with your hairless cat. I just wouldn't go out to the shelter and get a hairless and get a hairless cat. You know what I mean? I hate when they say calmly and rationally just screams that the OP is a condescending dick. As if talking in a certain tone makes any of what he's saying less assholey. I could feel him being condescending. What an asshat. Seen this 500 times, the dude making the post is logical, calm, and rational, and the chick is somehow emotionless, cold, and uncaring when they're literally asking the same shit. Unbelievable. Or too sensitive, or hysterical. We're wrong either way. Yeah, I know what you mean. Reminds me of the post where the OP's husband pulled a cheating prank and then got mad because she didn't react enough. And someone found the post. Hopefully, it's not just, oh my god, it's actually the post. Should I just go ahead and read the post? Should I just read it? I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. And then we're done with this video. Hang on. Is it like long or is it long? Oh, it's kind of a long one. I think, um, you know what? I think that's gonna be it for today. And I promise in the next Reddit video, I will read the story. But for now, I'm just out of here. I spent I spent almost 40 minutes reading those two posts, and I just don't feel like being on the subreddit anymore because it's not too fun. Because everyone on the subreddit is a piece of garbage, and I don't like being here for too long. So, yeah, this is a shorter video because I don't like being around this subreddit for more than an hour and a half to 2 hours. So, I'm gonna go watch some Adventure Time or something because I need comfort right now. I love each and every one of you guys. Please don't forget to always be yourself. You are valid. Please don't forget to be good to yourself and to others. And I will see all you guys in the next video. And just so you guys know, I'm posting this video and then I'm going to try and put my focus towards my project because I have to come up with more video. I have to come up with more videos and then I have to actually make the videos and that's going to take some time. So I have to spend tomorrow recording the videos from the writing that I already have, and then I have to work on making other videos and coming up with ideas because I've got the top 10 lists and I have to figure out what I want to do for those lists and then I have to make them. And it's, uh, it's a process. I love each and every one of you guys and, blah, blah, blah intro that I already said. I will see all you guys in the next video. Goodbye.